everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be the continuation of our quest to test a bunch of best-selling foundation at Sephora. I'm going to be doing wear tests, and then at the end I'm doing a wrap-up letting you know which ones were the best one, the worst ones on me, and then you can go back and look at each individual video whenever you want to see how they were in details on my skin. I will bring you in front of the window, natural lighting and everything, and I'm going to do the wear test. Some of these are a first impression, like today, but some of these are foundations I already have strong opinions on. But yes, like I was saying, today we're testing a new one for me. This is the Dior Backstage Pro Airflash Foundation. Not gonna lie, I've obviously never tried this because part of me have always thought it was a little gimmicky. Just being honest, I feel like when it came out, I saw some first impression videos, some wear tests, and people actually ended up really liking it. I think that we were all very confused about the whole like spray painting thing. I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, not sure it's going to be a great shade for me. Maybe the bottle doesn't mean anything. Worst case, I will have to go exchange it because I'm hoping this is going to be great. It's expensive. That's kind of why I never tested it. But after testing, you can go back and watch it, the other Backstage Foundation by Dior. I will test anything from them and I will not doubt them anymore because my mind was blown. So I'm hoping this is what's going to happen for me today too with this foundation. This, from description, basically sounds too good to be true. It's supposed to be ultra fine texture on the skin. It's supposed to give you full coverage while being super, super thin. And they're naming every skin type. It's supposed to last up to 12 hours. I mean, that sounds absolutely perfect. So, as always, my face is combination, but at the moment, because of the switch in season, I am super dehydrated. My forehead will definitely get very oily, but around my nose and my chin right now, even between my brows, it is like dry flick city. I've obviously been trying to apply some more moisturizer and everything, but it's going to take a few days for things to calm down. They do say on the box to literally be like 20 centimeter away from your face and just spray paint your face, which sounds weird. But if I remember correctly, this is so weird. People do it on their hand and then apply it to their face. So I'm going to test it that way because I'm going to put some everywhere if I don't. So let's hope for the color. Why did I get the color? Let me check. Okay, they have a bunch of shade, which I'll talk about in the wrap-up, but I went with number 104? Okay, I was confused, like, why I decided to go with almond anything, even though they say fair almond and 104. I was like, why did I go this dark? But it's one cool for fair skin with cool undertones, so this should not be crazy. I got a little scared from the bottle. Okay, we're good. Let's start again. Let me spray it on my... This is making me very nervous. Not sure if I want to breathe this in. Ooh! Oh, this smells really strong of perfume. Okay, so obviously if you get headaches from perfume, stay away. But the color looks okay. I was so worried when I saw this bottle. I was like, what were you thinking? Like, summer's ending. Okay, so I'm gonna probably need more than this, but... I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm gonna try it with a sponge just because it's my preferred way usually. I'm aware that it's probably gonna make it thinner, but they do say it's buildable, so worst case scenario, I will be putting it to test with a sponge. Yeah. I literally was able to just do this little bit. There's like nothing left on my hand. Oh my gosh, okay. I said I wasn't going to do this in my head, but let me just... I don't think I like this. I'm gonna apply half and then I'll look at myself in the mirror, but I don't like applying it directly. That's no surprise, but I feel like I'm gonna need to do this way too much to actually do my... Oh, okay. It becomes a bit thicker. Maybe I need to just stop being scared. So let's do half. As you saw, I don't have anything too crazy going on my face. I have some redness and leftover scarring and discoloration from some pimple earlier. But overall, nothing too crazy going on except for the dehydration. So I might not even need to apply that thick of a layer because, you know, I don't really need full coverage right now. I will obviously test it wherever I feel like I need it, but... Okay, you can see that it evens out my skin tone. The color's not wrong, which, oh my gosh. Look at that bottle though. It's so much darker than everything else I own. Like, look, you know what I mean? Okay, let me bring this closer. Hopefully it doesn't oxidize, actually. Okay. I feel like I have a thicker amount here because I spray painted it directly. But it definitely gives me some good coverage actually. Okay. It looks like skin. Doesn't seem to emphasize the dehydration on my nose, which is surprising. So I'm going to apply the rest. And actually, let me show you from close. I never feel like you can really tell that well from this up close, but I will bring in front of the window. But just to give you an idea, you can see with and without. So it just evened out my skin tone. It doesn't seem to be blurring my pores, but it doesn't also seem to make them worse. It just looks like skin that I'm wearing, you know, a bit of foundation. Right now, it's almost giving me the vibes of a tinted moisturizer with good amount of coverage, kind of, you know what I mean? Like a moisturizing almost BB cream, but at the same time it kind of dries matte. It seems pretty good. So let me just, okay. If I leave it longer, there's definitely more, which obviously, but what the heck? I don't know, I don't think you're gonna be able to tell. I'm not very hairy, but some of the foundation is like sticking to my hair and they're like thick and very high. It's so weird. Okay. Doesn't matter. Let me apply it. Yeah, okay. Definitely don't be afraid to spray it for more than 2 seconds like I was doing because it applies a thicker amount of foundation on your hand. I've had this pimple literally in every video that you're going to see, so we're going to try to cover it and see the amount of coverage on this. Okay, you can see some dehydration on my nose, which you'll see. Okay, so obviously very first impression, the color is actually good as long as it doesn't oxidize. Usually I do a swatch, but I think I'm just going to leave that there and see if it oxidizes, and I'll do a little spray after. But my skin looks like skin. I feel like they did say, I think, radiant finish, which with less light you can tell that it definitely looks like skin. It's glowy, it's even. It does seem to like cover. I did not apply a thick amount, you saw, with a sponge, and I feel like it covered that enough, like any leftover pimple I really had, that to the point where I don't need to really apply concealer if I don't want to. And yeah, I feel like it's a really nice glow. At the same time, it kind of feels matte. So that's an interesting finish. I'm enjoying this. Do think that I can see a little bit of the dehydration on my nose, but I definitely feel like I've tested a million foundations that do it like way, way worse. So I would say that this is just like showing my skin really than making it worse. So I really don't blame the foundation for this. I feel like some of the other ones would emphasize dehydration, for example, my forehead or chin or everywhere else where I don't necessarily have any. So I would not blame the foundation for that. That's definitely my skin. I would say that my first impression is positive. So I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and then I will bring it to a window and we'll see how much this changes color once it dries. And I'll wear it all day long. Why did I not test more Dior stuff? Because so far, 2 out of 2, I think that I like it. Oh, and by the way, I'm not smelling anything now that it's on my face. So unless you're very sensitive, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Okay, so I applied the rest of my makeup. I had no issue blending everything on top, even though, again, my skin is a bit dehydrated. I feel like I always apply a little bit of powder, again, for, you know, consistency in these videos. And I feel like it made the tip of my nose a bit better, but this part might be a bit more dehydrated. It was already, like I said, pretty bad, so I'm not expecting any miracles, but I am hopeful that throughout the day with a little bit of oil, it might help because, again, the foundation is supposed to last at least 12 hours apparently. But yeah, this is what I wanted to do, the oxidation test. I don't see that it did anything on my face, but I do feel like right now you can see that it did oxidize. Obviously there's a ton more on my hand than there is on my face, but still, there it is. Let me just show you. Yeah. Okay, so the fresh swatch, which is pretty much my skin tone, and then the dried one. Again, there is way more on there. I don't think this is a drastic amount. If anything, it became a bit cooler, which is, this one is supposed to be cool. I think it's one cool, right? So yeah, I don't see this as a foundation that really oxidizes. So that's really good. If you swatch in a store, you pretty much right away know what you're going to get. Okay, so we are now in front of the window. I'm going to show you from close what the foundation looks like. Essentially, from the distance, it looks great. I mean, you saw it on camera, the other camera, but from close, you can see some dehydration. That's definitely my skin. I don't feel like the foundation is making it worse at all. My nose, like I said, the powder made it better here. I feel like you can kind of tell on the side of my nose. But the rest of my face is looking good, so I definitely think that this is a case of, whoop, my skin isn't looking great, but the foundation is not making it worse. I don't feel it on my skin. I feel like it gave me a good amount of coverage. You can see it in natural lighting. I feel like it looks great. So I will have to put it to test a bit more whenever my skin is a bit better, but it's a time of the year where things get way worse before they get okay. So yeah, so far so good. I will be wearing this for as long as possible today, and I will update you if there's any changes. Otherwise, I will see you at the end of the day. So, we are way later than I thought I would be while doing this update. It's been almost 12 hours, which I guess was kind of the goal, right? Because they do say that the foundation is supposed to last up to 12 hours. So, this is what it would look like if you were to keep it a full day without retouching it, if you had my skin. I have to say, it looks okay. I feel like during the day, sometimes in some lighting, I felt like it was emphasizing my pores a little bit more than I would have liked it. But right now, obviously my forehead is extremely shiny, but the foundation didn't move around or anything. I do start feeling like this part is starting to like want to separate and move around a bit. And my nose, again, the tip is looking a little so-so, but my skin was not looking great this morning. So let me try to zoom you in and see what we can see. So this is what it looks like from up close. I don't know, I feel like this section, I feel like I can see my pore maybe a tiny bit more than I would have liked or normally. It's nothing crazy, really. The chin, you might be able to tell, I feel like it's starting to want to separate a little bit. So again, nothing too crazy, but just a little. I have a dried baby wipe. Let me just... I have been dreaming about this all day. Yeah, I definitely feel like this is something that's going to need to be retouched throughout the day. Doesn't seem actually to be any transfer. That's good. Let me just do everything just to see if it improves the way it looks like, the way it looks on my skin. It definitely made a huge difference on the way my forehead looks like. I feel like this part, like I was saying, it's starting to look quite dehydrated. I do feel like the foundation started kind of moving around and sticking to those, but they do say up to 12 hours. So I feel like at this point, 12 hours, it did look fine. If you have really dehydrated skin, I mean, will any foundation really end up working? So I don't really blame it for those issues. I think that in the future, because I will be keeping it, I will try to see if maybe using some type of primer to blur my pores a little bit will help, because I do feel like if you have bigger pores or if you're more insecure about your pores, you will want to either not get this foundation or use a primer that will blur them beforehand, because I never really mention my pores when I do those videos because I don't really care. It's like very rare that I feel like a product will emphasize them, and I feel like this might do it a little bit. However, I do like the way it looks, so I will have obviously to put it to the test a bit more because it's a first impression, but when I do the wrap up, hopefully I will have more to say. So we survived this day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, because the wrap up is coming up and there's going to be a bunch more wear test. And yeah, I will be putting some more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.